Elena Vasquez pressed her palm against the cold glass of Greenhouse 7, watching the dust storm obscure the amber sky. Inside, under artificial suns, the tomato plants continued their slow climb toward harvest, a small miracle she had tended for 3 years alone. The evacuation ships had left 18 months ago. Everyone who mattered was gone now. Her husband Carlos, her crew, the entire dream of a Martian civilization. But the seeds remained. The roots that Carlos had coaxed from Earth, the stubborn sprouts that had refused to die even when the funding dried up and the colony became too expensive to maintain. She spoke to the plants the way she used to speak to him. "We're holding on, aren't we?" she whispered, her breath fogging the glass. "Both of us, holding on." The tomatoes didn't answer, but their leaves trembled slightly in the recycled air. A response to her voice, or perhaps just the ventilation system. Elena had learned not to question the small comforts. This was her ritual every morning, checking each plant, adjusting the water, recording the growth. It was the only thing that kept the silence from swallowing her whole. That evening, she found it. Nestled between the tomato vines, nearly invisible against the red-tinged soil. A flower. Small, white, impossibly delicate. A potato plant that Carlos had planted as a joke. "For when we need comfort food," he'd said. Had decided to bloom. Elena sank to her knees, tears streaming down her face. She had cared for these plants for 3 years, had whispered to them, had played Carlos's favorite music when the silence became too heavy. And now, in the final year of her designated survival supplies, when she had already begun to accept that she would never see another human face, the garden was giving something back. She documented everything carefully. The flower, the new growth, the unexpected vitality of the greenhouse. She sent the data into the void, not knowing if anyone would receive it, not knowing if anyone cared. But she sent it anyway, the way she still sent daily reports to Mission Control, even though no one had answered in over a year. Every night before bed, she would say goodnight to the plants, telling them stories about Earth, about the world they had never seen but somehow represented. 3 weeks later, her comm system crackled to life. "Dr. Vasquez, this is Commander Chen of the Artemis returning mission. We picked up your signal. We're coming to bring you home." Home. The word hummer, strange and foreign. Elena looked around the greenhouse, at the tomatoes heavy on the vine, at the potatoes flowering white, at the small ecosystem she had built from grief and stubbornness and love. "I can't leave them," she said. "They need me." There was a pause on the other end. "Then we'll come to you, and we'll bring the seeds home together." Elena smiled, her first real smile in years. She touched the leaf of the potato plant, felt its fragility and its strength. "She'll be ready," she said. "We've been waiting." In that moment, she understood what Carlos had always tried to tell her, that gardens aren't about waiting for the harvest. They're about hope, about continuing, about believing that what you plant today will bloom for someone tomorrow. When the shuttle finally descended through the pink Martian sky 3 months later, Elena walked out to meet it carrying a case of seeds. Tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, roses. Each one a story, each one a memory, each one a promise that life finds a way, even in the most unlikely soil. The young astronaut who stepped off the shuttle looked at the barren landscape, then at the woman before him, then at the greenhouse shining in the distance like a... "You're the last gardener," he said. Elena shook her head. "No, I'm the first of many."